Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint these tulips in a glass vase with the black background. We'll be using acrylic paints, and I'll be showing you step by step how to do it all the way through. So I hope you get inspired to paint this yourself, and let's get started. All right, so this is our painting. It was from a Pixabay photo that I found, this photo of some tulips in a glass jars. I really liked it. I just love the black and white and the orange color scheme. I thought it was really striking. So this is my example painting, and hopefully we'll get through this in maybe a couple of hours. It's probably, I would say, a little bit more advanced. The glass part surprisingly was not as difficult as the tulips. I thought the tulips would be a little bit easier, but there were several layers to get that kind of depth that I wanted in them. So I would say if you're going to be trying this, just take your time with it and know that it's, trust the process, because there's going to be several, probably 4 or 5 layers on the tulips before they kind of get to where they need to be. So our color palette today, we're using acrylics, of course, like normal. Unbleached Titanium, Cadmium Yellow Light, Cadmium Yellow Medium, Yellow Oxide, Cadmium Red Light, Quinacridone Magenta, Phthalo Blue green shade, Burnt Sienna, Carbon Black, and this is Zinc White. It's a transparent white, and this is Titanium White. The Zinc White is what will give us this kind of transparency in the glass in the vases. Now, I'm also going to put out some glazing liquid. This is the golden acrylic glazing, and it will give us a little bit extra blending time, as well as make our colors transparent. So if you don't have the Zinc White, you can always use your glazing medium with some white, and it'll make it a little bit more transparent. So you don't have to go out and buy it, but it's actually a really good color to use for transparent type things. So how are we doing today in chat?
Well, I guess everybody else is doing okay. My chat still isn't showing up now.
Oh, no.
No, I tried refreshing everything, so, oh well, I'll figure it out.
On your tablet, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to try it on my phone here.
Okay, there you go. So, yeah, you may not get to chat with Mark today. I know that's why you watch, so. That's why everybody shows up live to talk to Mark. I miss out on all of the fun. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. We'll get to show you my sketch. I went ahead and sketched it ahead of time just to save a little bit of time, but I'm going to go ahead and go through it with you. I'll go over my lines to kind of firm them up and explain it. So the first thing I did was figure out my round vase, because it's going to be kind of the focal point. And it was right at the halfway mark here. And so the top of the vase is right at the halfway mark here, and the halfway mark here marked the side of it. And it is just a big old circle, and I left about 1 inch at the bottom. And if you want to, you could use a round bowl or, something like that to give you some definition, but I'm going to use this Scriball water-soluble pencil and mark out. Of course, I started with a black canvas. This is carbon black, but you can use whatever black you've got. Or you could use a color too. I think, something blue would be really pretty against the orange, like a blue background with dark blue against that orange, since they're opposite on the color wheel. I think those would look really good. I'm kind of flattening out the bottom of the vase slightly, but then about the halfway mark on the vase, across here, there's a curved line where that's kind of the water line, and then it sort of mimics. It's not a perfect circle. It's sort of lips with it almost comes to a point on the edges. It's a little bit curved right here where it touches the sides of the glass, but it's slightly pointy, just slightly rounded right here. And it curves like that. And then there's another circle, kind of flattened out oval, that sits at the bottom of this vase, like that. So those are your main shapes to get kind of that glass feeling, and we're going to fill in with lots of little dashes and dots and things to make it look like water, and get the reflections going and stuff. The top of the vase here if you want to get it exactly perfect, you could make a line straight up the middle and make sure that these are equal distance. Then there's a slightly curved flat on these sides. And then there's kind of a squashed circle. You're seeing just a little bit at the top of this lip. And these two lines be parallel. Okay, I hope you can see that. Is it dark enough, bright enough? There, maybe I'll tilt it a little bit.
Looks good.
Looks okay? Mm-hmm. All right, then this vase here that's behind is just up from the lip, straight up and across, and then it, I guess, let me see. I guess if you split it into thirds, it would just be right below the third, right here. It's the bottom of it, and it curves up. It doesn't come out very far. Curves up right here. It curves back in and goes straight up right there. Right, there's some lines that come across for the... All right, I'm not going to draw all the lines. We're just going to paint them in as we go. And then let's go ahead and do this vase, and then we'll put in our tulips. So this vase is going to be just above this one. The top of it is just above the top of this. And here again, you're not seeing the back side of it. You're just kind of seeing it go straight across pretty much. There. And there will be traceable for you guys, so don't worry about that. I didn't get it done ahead of time. I know somebody asked me for one. I'm sorry. It just got stuck painting and sharing and then drawing this one out. So you're curving down just a little bit here and here, then go straight down on either side. And this line comes to the edge of this vase, and then it starts up, it ends about where this curve is, a little bit below that. So like that. And then there is a circle at the bottom of this one, kind of a flattened out circle there, and then another one here, a little bit up from it where the water is. And we'll see some reflection on top of the water and in the bottom here. Okay, so those are our main vases. Not too hard, just straight lines and kind of, and honestly, if you get them a little bit off, it's not a big deal. Mine here was a little bit low on this one, but it still looks fine. So let me put up the picture while I'm doing this too. I'll throw that image in the corner so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so then the main tulip here is this big one right in the middle. So we can put it in first, and it's going to curve down. Stem comes down. And inside the vase, I'm going to go very light because I don't want really harsh lines that I have to erase. So I'm just going to kind of scribble a little bit. There's two lines kind of parallel. And then when it hits the bottom of the water here, it kind of hits the water right about here, I guess. It curves, it turns, and does this weird angle. And that's the water refracting the image. Let's see if I use a big word. Okay, I'm going to have to take this off because it keeps sticking to my hair. Sorry if it makes a noise, but I can't deal with that.
I just need to come cut your hair real quick then.
No.
Just on this side.
No. Sorry.
It'll be fine.
I love you, but no. Mark's got me taped down to keep my...
suffer for your art here.
To keep my mic from rubbing on my clothes. The cord on my mic rubs on my clothes if I move. So since I can't not move, obviously, I have to have the mic cord not move, so it tapes it down. So, all right, so this big one here is just a big, think about a semicircle or C shape. So we're just going to kind of do this rounded thing here. Okay, so there's a point right here, and I'm curved in, and then I'm going to angle out this way and then back in for this petal. Angle it back this way and then curve it in. So like right about here, we're just kind of creating this bowl shape. This petal kind of comes up. There's a zigzag thing that happens here. So there's quite a bit of space where this comes in and out for each of these petals. That's normal. Okay, like that. And then this back one is curves up and around. You don't see the back side of it because this one's kind of covering it. And then it's got an open part right here where you're seeing the inside of it just a little bit. I hope that's visible on the screen. I feel like it is a little hard to see. Okay, so then this little bitty baby one here, I already did the stem while I was talking smack to Mark about taping me down. Right here, there's a little petal peeking in behind, and then there's just this one's that classic tulip shape, kind of like that oval shape. There's a little bitty baby one right here that's peeking behind this one. Like that. It's about even with this top petal here, so it's slightly in below it, but if you're looking for a reference for where to kind of start it, and then it curves down. This line gets all refracted by this glass here, and then comes down and curves in front of this, and when it hits the water right about here, it also splits over and moves a little bit over, so it doesn't come straight down into the water. There's a little bit of a movement right here, over, just a little bit to the side. Okay, let's do these big ones up here. So these ones are curving from up here. It's hitting right at the corner of this glass and going out. And there's a second one that comes up from there. These two kind of crisscross in the vase right here. And then there is a kind of almost a like open V shape. It's not a straight V, but it's kind of flattened out just a little bit. And then you kind of come up and go straight, come in and go to a point, come back down, curve it back down, kind of parallel to this one, and then pull it in, narrow it, and curve it back into the center. All the petals are going to be going to this center mark. So if you make sure that all of these lines point to where the stem is, you'll stay correct. Keep your, what am I saying, anatomy, but it's not really anatomy, but anyhow, your drawing will stay correct. So, all right, so we're starting from that point again and curving up, leaving a little space between these two petals for this one to peek in. There's a petal here that peeks in and kind of comes down, and then there's another one right here. And then there's another one that does this V shape right here, real tall. This one curves out. Right about where that V ends, it kind of curves back in on itself and then does another parallel line almost straight down to the end of that V. Right there. Okay. How are you doing, honey? Are you getting your chat to work?
No.
Uh-oh.
I've emailed myself the link.
You're blocked. I hope there's nobody else that's having that same problem. That's
Ooh,
part of our group.
I got to finally work on my phone.
Yay!
I spelled hello HELLK.
So
I said helk to everybody.
Mark may sound like he's drunk today on the chat.
Helk,
Okay.
helk.
Are you being repressed again?
I am.
This time by YouTube.
By YouTube.
Okay, so we're doing that flattened V again right here. And about halfway up the tulip, we're going to curve it up and narrow it a little bit. And then curve it again. And then it does this sweeping S shape right here. And points back down to this. So all of the petals are pointing to that. And then there's a little one peeking out right here, and you're seeing a little bit of the inside of that one at the top. Okay, so seeing so far, I feel like I need to, let me zoom in for this one a little bit. I feel like I'm a little too far away. There, okay. Sorry, one of these days Mark will be able to have a RoboCam and follow me around, so I'll always be on screen. Then he won't be able to chat though, so I don't know. Okay, so this one is going to be the same, kind of this flattened V shape right here. And then the petal is facing us, so it's almost like an egg shape right here. Big old egg shape. Part of it's covered up by this one here. And then a petal coming out this way, coming up to a point. It's higher than this, so it's taller than this part. There's another one right here that kind of curves up here. And you're not seeing the back side of it, but it would curve in like that. And then there's a smaller petal that's kind of curved on the inside of this. You're seeing the inside of this one, and then the outside edge curves in. So you're seeing the side of the petal facing you right here. Okay, then this one is another egg shape. So you can kind of do that. It's kind of more closed off than some of the other ones. At the very top here, and kind of curve it in and do a slight S shape right here. And curve it back in to the point where the stem is. Honestly, doesn't really matter how you do your petals. As long as they point in the right direction, you're going to have success. They all just have to kind of come pointing down into this spot. Now this one, you're not seeing the edge of this one because it's tucked around the backside, but it's still curving around and tucking into here. So there's this one split here, and then there's a little poked out section right there and there. Okay, and then there's a little baby one right here. So cute. It's a little egg shape. And then there's some inside petals. And just a few curved lines. And then its stem kind of comes in over the top of this one and kind of covers it. Looks like there's one stem going into the glass. And then they split apart a little bit as they get down in the water here. There's a little bit thicker right there. It comes down to about right there. And this one sort of disappears. There's some green shadows happening over here, and I think it just kind of disappears behind these other ones, so you don't have to worry about it. All right, so that's our drawing. Not too bad.
Thanks for joining, everybody.
That's it for
Click
today.
a thumbs up, like, subscribe. Don't share.
It's true. I love you. All right, let's paint. I'm going to spray this one more time with my water because it's been sitting here this whole time.
This is a two-parter, huh?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
You can't go back to playing video games quite yet.
Life is so tough.
So hard. Mark was sweet. He went grocery shopping for us today so I could work. What?
Nothing.
What?
It's just so that our family can eat this week. Our weekend is all messed up with the show on Friday and then traveling and all that stuff. And it's just
a crazy week.
An odd weekend for us, for sure.
Hashtag feed Mark. Priorities. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is start out with kind of the values. I found that it was easier to add the lighter colors on top of the darker than to, when I put the darker colors on top, it sort of was a little bit difficult. So I'm going to put in this one right here, the small one with yellow. We're going to kind of lose some of its detail. But I mixed the cadmium yellow with white for this. And I'm going to add a little Quinacridone Magenta. And I'm remembering to start from this side so I don't put my hand in it today. Smart. I've stuck my whole arm in the castle. It smeared the... I was trying so hard to be impressive for Lindsay. And then I went and we got up to Branson. Of course, for those who don't watch well, obviously y'all do because you're my patrons. What?
In the future.
What about in the future?
This show will go out in a few months, right?
That's true, yes.
So you can speak to everybody in the world.
Okay. Okay. I deleted my castle. It had 3,000 views. And I was putting it in my playlist. And then I realized it was already in my playlist. So I was like, oh, let's get that out of there. We don't want the the duplicate in the playlist. And I don't know why they have the option to delete the video from your YouTube channel in the playlist section, but they do on the app on your phone. I was sitting in my mom and dad's living room. We were watching TV and I deleted my video.
It even asked you, are you sure you want to delete?
I know, it did. It gave me a second chance.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, I do.
Please do.
Please remove that video. Why would I want and all of Lindsay's people to find it? There's this collaboration with Lindsay Wyrick. She's got like 300,000 subscribers right now. God. I've been waiting for 2 years to get to work with her, and I deleted my video. I could have cried. I really literally couldn't sleep that night. This color is Quinacridone Magenta and a little bit of the Cadmium Red Light. Sorry, I'm crying to myself here and telling you my story, and I'm not teaching you. Sorry. Okay, get over it. I'm over it. Mark's heard it about 10 times a day. He's like, I said, I'm probably still going to be talking about this in 2 years, so just to warn you. He's like, maybe not 10 times a day, hopefully. Hopefully. I don't know. It could happen. I'm probably never going to get over it, so... It's probably the stupidest thing I've ever done. Okay, I'm going to clean out my brush because I don't want this pink in there because I'm going to make like a purpley red. Or I don't want the yellow in there because it'll make a kind of gray if I don't. Okay, so I'm going to make a purple with quinacridone. I'm just going to scoop out a bunch of quinacridone and get a little bitty bit of the phthalo blue. I'll make a nice deep purple. Violet. You could use Dioxazine purple if you don't want to mix your own. It's fine. Honestly, I don't know. Sometimes in a mood, you really could mix these two together too and get a red because I'm going to do that right now too. I'm going to mix this one and a little bit of this one. Make myself a bright red. I just like the red that these two make together. It's like a cherry red. So It's probably close to cadmium red medium, but I feel like it's prettier, so we're just going to use those 3 colors for our dark sections with quinacridone. We're going to mix this red with this a little bit in places. This will be our base kind of colors for our tulips. Okay, so I'm going to start on this one. I'm going to put in a little bit more of this dark right along this seam. If you noticed, I left a little bit of the black seam showing right there, just so I could kind of see where to put my shadow. Area. Now I'm going over it with this red. Oops, it was starting to dry. You see where it lifted right there? That's because I messed with it while it was drying. So I probably need to not mess with that one anymore. We'll go to this one. Okay, these 2 colors are, well, they're not covering. The quinacridone is so transparent, so I'm going to add a little tiny bit of yet white to it, and we'll get it to cover, and then we'll go back over it with the dark. So that's a pretty color. It's like a pink. I noticed some of these on this side had a little bit more pink in them, so this actually will work just fine. Probably the way the light was hitting them. I'm going to grab a little bit more of this cadmium red light and put that in there. Inside of this one.
So, since none of us were paying attention to you at the very beginning, is your background painted?
Yes, it's painted black.
All right, just to make sure
yes.
it wasn't a
Now,
black
somebody was
canvas.
asking me if they could use a black gessoed canvas, and the answer is yes. My only reservation with doing that, there's 2 things that I would be concerned about. They're great, and they save you time, you know, so that's, but if you were to go outside your lines and have to paint a little bit of black to cover something up, you really can't do that unless you have the same color black gesso that's on your canvas. Otherwise, you're going to have a big black shiny spot on a dull matte canvas. The gesso is not shiny like this, so it will be very matte. So that's the other concern, is that I like the black, the richness of this black. The pre-gessoed canvases, actually I have one up there if you want to grab one. It's a little mini one. You can show the difference. It's in that cabinet right there. You can show the difference in the shininess of it. I think I just hit my microphone with my brush.
This is a gray. Yeah?
No, it's a little tiny bitty canvas. It's the ornament one. I don't know why I sent Mark to do that. He can't find anything. I love you, but you're really bad at it. It's probably in my... Yeah, well, that'll work. That'll work. Well, no, that's not... Those are canvas. Well...
Just keep on painting. I'll find it.
Okay. It's probably up in that thing right there, that little basket up on top.
Oh, well, see, that's not what I said.
Thank you.
Help me, people. Please help me. I'm sending a signal. Set me free.
Stop. Go away. Oh, gosh. Okay, so you see the difference there. It's a very flat, matte black. And if I painted this color on it to fix something, it's going to be totally different and leave this shiny spot on it. Even after it dries, it'll look like that. So usually when I use those, I will paint black over them top, just to give it a little bit of extra paint. I like the way the paint feels over the raw canvas anyways, so that's a long answer to that, sorry. And I made Mark get up for it too. You're welcome. All right, so grabbed a little bit of the Quinacridone Magenta and a tiny bit of the purple. And I'm just going to go back in here in some of these areas where it's really dark. right at the bottom of these tulips, making sure that these are dry because I don't want to lift the color. Okay, those would be good. Let's use that. Do this one. This one's going to be really dark back here. And we'll use it over here too. Grab a little bit of white, mix that with that. Put a little bit of that in there. And you can see how there's all these streaks in it. This black is going to take several coats to cover. So that's why I was saying, you know, it was at least five layers. So this is normal. Don't get frustrated if your paint's got all these streaks. I'm just kind of letting the streaks kind of work for me and going in the direction that the petal grows. Grab some of this red here with the quinacridone and just a little bit of quinacridone in it. We'll use that over here. And put a little bit of white in with that. Make it cover better. So I said I was going to do the dark, but it's not working with the dark because it's not wanting to cover. Just have to go back to the way I did it the first time. Right, pulling that down. And then this back one here. What are you doing, honey? You're sighing over there.
I have a question.
You have a question?
Are we there yet?
No.
Are we almost finished?
No. I'm sorry. Are you overworked? Do I need to pay you more?
No, actually, I like this pace.
You do?
Right here, the chat is much slower than it was on Friday.
Well, good.
It's just that I have to read it on my computer and respond on my phone.
You are so...
I know.
Boy,
these first world problems.
First world problems, yep.
But some other people are reporting the same issues.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is with the... It has something to do with, I'm sure, the secret link and not...
Probably.
Seeing you jump into YouTube as yourself. For some people, I don't know why.
I'm sorry about that, guys. We didn't have that problem last time, I don't think. I don't remember anybody mentioning that. Do we have a bigger group this time? How many people do we have watching today?
We've been up to 34.
Well, good. Good.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last live show, the bonus video, we had like 20-something. It's a little bit better. Ooh, I'm going outside my length there a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, these ones are definitely more intimate since it's just the Patreon folks. It's smaller group, core group folks. And this will be the last time we have to do it on a Sunday. Next month we will do the bonus video on the last Saturday of the month, and we'll do the Hard Hands video. Will go live from last month on for the other folks. So but it'll go public, I should say. So I'm curious if there's anybody who started the Patreon this month, if you are able to see the link for the Heart Hands video, or if it's on Patreon, I mean, or if it's hidden now for, I wonder if the older perks are available for new people or not. I would think that they would be, but I don't know how Patreon does it.
You may have to pin it to the top of the Facebook page.
I'm adding a little bit of yellow. Well, no, not Facebook. I'm talking about Patreon. I have a feed where it has posts, and I have ones, like a post. That's how people found the link, because I posted the link for my.
Okay, I'm not a member of Patreon.
I know you're not. Okay, I'm grabbing the yellow now and adding a little bit of yellow in here, just so it's wet. And I need to stop messing with it because it's starting to lift. It's starting to dry on me. Okay. Let's move over here. Do this one. With what's on my brush here, it's got a little bit of all the colors. Just feel like this yellow's covering better than the reds. Not as streaky. And then we'll do this one, big one. Grab some more of that yellow. Really, the tulips, like I said, are the hardest part of this. The glass was really fun. It went pretty fast because it's just little dabs of paint streaked. So it didn't really take very much time. I'll grab some of the red, Cadmium Red Light. We'll add that. I really, really love how this painting turned out. I was really happy about it. Painted it this morning, and I had meant to paint it on Friday before we left. I just didn't have time. Well, no, not Friday. On Thursday, I mean. But I was painting the castle. Painting the castle. And I'm still waiting on, well, those who are watching the replay, or this will probably be over by then, but we're going to do the giveaway for our 60,000. 60,000. We hit 60,000 subs a couple of weeks ago. We're already at 63, I think. So we may do our 60,000 giveaway when we hit 65 at this rate. I don't know. Closer to 70, maybe. I'm waiting on the brush guys still, so hopefully that'll happen. It's not going to happen this Tuesday, though. Tomorrow I'll do my art chat like normal. We'll start our new challenge. So those folks who are here, actually, you guys can help me if you want to suggest some challenges during chat. I'm looking for some ideas. I haven't come up with anything yet. I haven't picked a challenge for my Facebook group for March yet, or for April yet. The challenge in the Patreon only Facebook group was glass this last month, so that's why we're doing the tulips here. Got some yellow and just blending that down into that wet paint. It's kind of turning orange.
So, as you were saying about the giveaway, but not being this Tuesday?
No, it won't. Because this Tuesday I've got another sponsored video, so I can't do it Tuesday. Well, and I haven't heard from the brush guys, so I don't know when they're going to have my brush list up. Well, as soon as they do, I will be doing the giveaway. And that's just partly because we were having to finalize the thing. I had to test a few brushes, and it just took longer than I thought it would to get them all sent here and tested and replies and all that stuff, and finalize my list. It's hard to pick out favorite brushes. I picked out different levels of brushes, so I have some that are beginner level, and then some that are sort of intermediate, and then some that are more professional quality, so kind of hits all the different levels. All right, so there we go. All right, that's the start of our tulips. I'm going to go back to this side. Now it should be dry. And we'll start putting in some details. I forgot to mention the brush that I'm using. This one is the number 2 Titanium. It's a little bit bigger than my number 4 round that I normally use. So you can kind of see the difference. And it's a little stiffer. I just kind of liked it for this part. Kind of gave me a little bit extra spring. The Simmons Sapphire line is a lot more flexible. This one's a little stiffer. But really any size round, larger round, or even a flat or filbert would work too. So just kind of use what you got. It took me a couple times to just try different brushes to see which one I preferred using for this. I tried an angled brush and I didn't like that, so I'm going to grab some of this burnt sienna and mix that in, because it's not a transparent color. So it'll make these reds more opaque. I'm going to grab the Quinacridone Magenta and mix it with that. It'll make this dark brown burgundy color. It'll be a good one for some of our shadow areas here. Yeah, that's good. So doing another coat. We need to count these layers. I have a feeling we'll probably have 6. That's my prediction. Grab a little bit of purple. Throw that in this dark area right here. Mark sighing.
No, I'm just thinking how odd it's going to be to say, hey, thanks for watching this video. If it's your first time finding Angela, subscribe to the channel. The links to all the social media are down below. Also, the list of all the stuff for doing this tutorial.
Materials list.
Yeah, materials list. That's what it's called in the professional painting world. Other people just call it stuff.
Stuff, okay. Either way.
The stuff list.
Right.
And links to some of them on Amazon. And it helps support Angela's channel there.
It does. All right, grabbing a little bit more of the quinacridone. I added just a touch of purple to it to darken it up even that much more. Yeah, and you don't even have to buy the stuff that's on my list for it to support my channel, as long as you go through the links. If anything that you buy on Amazon gets credited to me, so that's nice. Just visit from one of the links in my channel, and then. But I have, the suggested sort of some of the things that I use, like my notebook and things, are listed down in the description. But most of y'all that are here today already know that, so.
But I'm talking to the people in the future.
In the in what? May? These are the, oh God.
May, June.
Okay, I'm not going to let you tape down up by my
painting.
hair again. Just going to stop that. Just keeps pulling my hair out. All right. So it's going to look pretty dark, and you want it to be in value, the value pretty close to the black. So what are you laughing at? Pretty dark, and that will give us the depth that we're looking at. If you look at the picture, there's a lot of depth. You really need it to be dark to give it the rounded look. So don't be afraid of going really nice and dark on these colors. If you don't, they'll look a little bit flat. What are you laughing at?
I'm not going to say, it's just a funny joke inside my head.
Okay. I'm scared. Thank you for not saying it. Might get us in trouble.
Oh, no, it wouldn't get you in trouble.
It wouldn't?
No.
Okay.
Might get me in trouble, but not you.
You in trouble? With me? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. All right. I'm liking that color. This is like a nice dark red. Probably Cadmium Red Deep would work for this if you had that color. It's probably similar-ish. Spray down here. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, while that's still There, I'm going to go ahead and use it in a couple other places. And I'll come back in and add a little bit of dark to this guy. Just a little bit. And then that's probably still wet. I'm going to go over this one. And I'm not using a lot of paint in my brush at this point because I've already got these colors down. And if you look at the reference photo in my picture, there's these streaks that happen in the petal. So if I'm pulling, I'm going to grab a little bit of that red that I mixed. I'm pulling in the direction that the petals grow. So I'm not pulling across this way. I'm pulling along and doing these long curved lines as I fill in, and that way, if any of them kind of show, any of the brush strokes show, which I kind of do want it to happen that way, it'll look like part of the tulip. So in that little area there, I'm going to grab a little bit of white. Pull in some white down. Ooh, that's a little bit bright, but that's all right. It'll help have a little contrast between these two tulips there. So I'm always pointing down towards the stem. So all of these petals, unless it's on the curved part, you know, sometimes it's curving out this way, but I'm always kind of following the natural growth of that petal, if I can, when I'm pulling my brush strokes. Grab some of this red now. We'll use a little bit of that. See, I'm lightly brushing over the top of that darker color. It's creating a few streaks in it. Let me zoom in. There we go. Okay, you're on your guard.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out.
Okay, so very little paint on my brush. I'll put the thicker paint up towards the top, or where I want it the brightest. And then where I want to blend, I'll flick it just a little bit, very lightly. And if I have too much paint on my brush still, I can wipe it off. And then use my dryer brush and just pull over the top of that edge to blend it out lightly, just tapping. That gives that soft blend. Right, I'm still working pretty dark here. Let me grab some yellow. This is a cadmium yellow. We'll start working some of this yellow into this color. I'm going to tap along that edge, put that darker color right along that edge, wipe off the extra, and then blend it out lightly, just tapping that edge to soften it out. See that? Grab a little bit of white and mix it with my cadmium yellow light. It's got a little bit of the red in it, since I've still got a little bit of that color in that. That's okay. Put a little bit of that really bright along that edge and pull down lightly. This let's do it right here too. Tapping, pull down a little bit. You can even do it with have a second brush. I clean it, wet brush, and just use it to pull that blend out. A little bit of water. Right, there's one there, then there's another one here. Kind of curves in over the top and down. If that edge is still too bright, just wipe it off and blend it out, or you can grab a little bit of that cadmium red and pull up into the yellow the opposite way. Blend that way. Either way works. I do it up here too. And when these paints are wet is the best time to do it. So it kind of catches both colors and lets them blend together. I'll add a little bit more of my yellow back in. There, now it's catching that yellow, or that red that I just put down and blending them. All right, let's put a little bit of the yellow up here. And then we'll put the yellow along this outside edge of this petal. Now that we've got it nice and dark here, we can avoid that area and just put in these bright areas, and it'll really make it pop. And this one comes down all the way to the...
We have a question. Asked, have you been using the glazing medium?
Not really, no. Not for this part. I'll be using it when I do the glass, but this part I didn't really need to. Now, if you're... Because these petals are so small, you really have time to kind of blend them out. You notice I'm not doing all of the yellow and then trying to come back in and blend it, because it would dry too quickly if I did that. So I'm doing each petal one at a time, or, you know, if I have two petals that are very small, I can do two at a time. But that's one of the things that I would, you know, recommend, not trying to, you know, lay in all of your yellow and then come back and then expect it to be wet enough to blend, because it won't. You've got to kind of work as it's wet. So work it quickly while it's before it dries, if you want to blend. Add a little bit of the brighter yellow there. That's the cadmium yellow light, straight. I'm just going to pull down a little bit more. These are almost kind of striped. They're like, if you look at this one in the picture, it's not really blended a whole lot right there. It's almost like a striped flower. All right, there we go. And then let's grab a little bit more of that cadmium yellow light. We'll do a little bit at the very top of this one. A little bit right there. A little bit here. These are going to dry darker, so I'm going to continue to have to add more and more layers of light. I may have to add a couple more layers even. And I'm going to grab the cadmium red light, mix a little bit of it with these yellows, with the white in it. Just make a kind of a salmon-y color, almost salmon or orange, light orange. We'll use that to blend down, just streak very lightly, pulling down from that yellow over the top. It'll pull some streaks down onto that petal. Do the same thing over here. Okay, so that tulip's almost done, really. It's looking pretty good. I think we need to put a little bit in down here, and I'm going to grab the yellow oxide for that. And it needs a little bit of yellow at the base of this tulip here. So there's a little bit of yellow peeking out. I'm using the yellow oxide because it's in the shade, or it's the shadowed area of the flower. so it's not as bright. More muted. Oops, I'm kind of off, almost off camera. There.
What are you looking over here for? You should see the look I just got.
I did it on purpose. I was joking. I wasn't really mad. I'm going to put the... Okay, I'm going to mix some...
You just had that sound effect. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, exactly. Dramatic turn and look.
Exactly.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit of phthalo blue. I don't know why I put out that much because I'm not going to need nearly that much. It's so super potent. It's got a lot of tinting strength. So you saw how much compared to the yellow I had there. This is cadmium yellow medium plus phthalo blue. Makes a really beautiful bright green. And then I'm going to add a little bit of burnt sienna over here and phthalo blue. And that makes a almost teal green color. Very dark green. So this will be our darker green and this is our lighter green. I still had some of the yellow in there, but that's not going to really affect it that much. Might add a little bit more blue to make it a little bit more on the teal side. Just a little bit more on the blue. I'm going to scoop it all up here and spin my brush and kind of push it down, scrape it off. Okay, while I've got that on my brush, I'm going to grab a little bit of that light green color and we'll just go ahead and start putting in some of these stems. Well, I can't, not until that one's done. I'll do these ones over here. I just want to use it up while I've got it on my brush. There's a little bit of it in this under here. That's why I mixed it, because there's a little bit in that area under that tulip right there. Okay. There. There. Each one of these is going to be a different shade of green, but I'm going to go ahead and just put this on as my base color and we'll adjust the other colors over the top. Okay. Oh, it's really dark. You can almost not see it against that background color. All right, I'm gonna clean that out. Grab a little bit more of the yellow oxide. And a tiny bit of the green. We'll use those two together right here. Just makes this kind of a lime green right underneath the tulip right there. It's not that bright. Grab a little bit more of the phthalo green, I'm sorry. Can't say my words today. Cadmium or yellow light and yellow oxide. And mix those a little bit in with that green. Thank you. Okay. Let's use this color on my stem right here. All right. I'm gonna clean that out. Grab my, well, this color died on me. Let me grab burnt sienna and quinacridone mix, a little bit of purple. I'm gonna spray my thing here. if you know you're going to use a lot of a color, that's why I mix so much purple and so much of the greens. You know, if you're going to use a lot of a color, you might want to, you know, dedicate a little spot to it, and that way it won't dry on you before you get back to it, because you know, you may want to use it over here, and then over here later you may want to go back to it and it'll be dry. So use a little bit of it in this one.
You have a little bit of yellow on your hand there, so be careful.
Oh, thank you. You caught it. Thank you, honey.
Was that a test?
You got bonus points for that.
Thanks.
My hero. Oh, gosh. We really are nice to each other, I promise. Okay, I'm going to grab some of this color. I'm going to throw in a few little streaks in this one here. Make sure that it's nice and got good coverage. This one actually looks pretty decent already. I'll put a second coat on this, though this one definitely needs, especially in these corner areas, and grab a little bit of this dark burnt sienna color mixture and put it in right in here. Just want a little bit of contrast between the petals. If you look in the reference photo, there's always like a little bit of difference in the color, or not always, but most of the time, you know, there'll be a little bit of a shadow or a little bit of a value difference or color difference or something to help you see where the two petals lie. So you just kind of have to look for that. Now wipe that off, grab my red, and pull down with the red. This will make it really nice and orange. So I'm going to use it sparingly. Kind of overwhelm things. Brightening up that one right there. Yeah, nobody questioned. No questions today.
Somebody made a statement, so I'm going to turn it into a question.
Okay.
They said that when they run out of the color that they mixed, they have a hard time mixing that same color again.
Yeah.
So do you have any tips or tricks?
Well, that's what I was saying. You know, I mean, it definitely happens that you run out, you know, of the color. So I would just mix a little bit more than you think you need. You know, like I did here in the purple, I'm definitely not going to use that much. But the more you mix, the less quickly it'll dry. Because if you mix a very small section like I did here, where it's really flat and there's not a lot of thickness to the paint, it will dry almost immediately. So unless you keep spraying it, you're gonna, you know, need to remix it. So, but that'll come in time with experience. You'll kind of, you know, be able to remember a little bit better how you mix the colors. What I do a lot of times, you know, is write them down. Now, is she saying she's just not able to get the same color, or it's that she doesn't remember? Because I mean, that's kind of two different problems there.
Well, they said that they're able to hold on here.
Grab the magenta.
They can never really get the same shade, especially especially with flesh tones.
With flesh tones, yeah. Well, yeah, that's just experience. You know, will help once you get kind of a little bit more. You'll be able to see the differences. What, you know, a little bit easier. A lot of it is just kind of being able to see the difference in the values and things, and the colors. I'm going to grab a little bit of white, mix that in with the magenta, and add that over the top. I'm trying to think what might help. I'm trying to think if I've got a little tip for that. I really don't know. But I write down, you know, when especially if I'm doing a project that's really complicated, you know, where I've got a lot of color mixing going on, I will write down my color mixes and kind of, and even sometimes generally how much of each color, you know, I used. So that could help you. I know usually when you're working fast, though, you don't have time to stop to do that, but grabbing the cadmium yellow medium here, I'm going to pull some of that color down from the tip. So, yeah, I don't know. That's, yeah, I would just say mix a little bit more than you need. Just to give yourself plenty. And a lot of times what I'll do, if you watched, I'm trying to think what that video was that I did. If she's in my Facebook group, for the patrons, I did last week, I think, I did a little color string where I showed how to mix different values from one set of colors. So kind of, I haven't done it today. Let me see. But that might help too, because then you've got a little bit extra of your base color, and all you have to do is add white to it. And you're just changing the values. So that could help. Adding white, a little bit of white mixed in here now. It's going to look really bright against there. I'm going to wipe my brush off and gently go back in and lightly tap off that edge. Just blend it out a little bit. And if it's not blending, you can maybe add just a teeny tiny bit of water to your brush. That can help. Having a little bit stiffer brush helps too. There we go. Pretty. Grab some of that cadmium yellow. Actually, I'm going to get the cadmium yellow light. Maybe a little bit of the unbleached titanium. Since I haven't used that yet today. Streak down. Just pull some streaks in that tulip. If it's doing this, that means that this color underneath is drying before I get, so I'm going back in with thick paint right there, and I'm just going to tap it over the top and try not to touch that part anymore because it's starting to lift. The previous color was drying before I touched it, so. Okay. Adding yellow. We'll add a little bit more yellow down here. Get a second coat going. It stayed pretty bright on the photo, this part. So I'm not going to worry too much about it being dark. This is definitely a good blending lesson. grab some white and mix it with these yellows here. It's probably similar in difficulty to the orchid, I would say, because the orchid had all these different colors that we were blending together. So it may even be one step more difficult than it. But it sure is pretty. It's definitely worth the effort. I can't ever get tulips to grow in my garden. I don't know what I do wrong, but I don't think our soil is right for them. I've tried several different times. I just don't like it here. I think our ground is too soggy for them. Grab a little bit of that red mixed with that yellow.
That's not something I've mowed over before, is it?
No.
Okay.
I don't think you've mowed the tulips, no.
Okay, good.
You've mowed my daffodils and irises, and I plant shrubbery when they were babies. Oh, I'm trying to think. Baby rabbits. I shouldn't have mentioned that.
I was pruning the shrubbery.
You're pruning it down to nothing with the mower. Here's the brighter yellow down here. Okay, gonna grab some of that red, go over the top, just blend that out. You're a menace on that mower, that's for sure. A lot better in this yard. We don't have the same kind of layout. Don't seem to mow as many of my flowers down. I've just given up. Honestly, that's really what it is. It's not, I just don't plant anything anymore because I know better. Unless it's in a protected bed and it doesn't go in the ground. This is Quinacridone Magenta here. Pull some of that in there. All right, these are looking pretty good. I like this. Okay, so I feel like these are getting lost right here. So I'm going to clean my brush out. Grab a little bit of yellow. We'll add some yellow into this one too. I didn't do any yellow in that. I'm getting my thumb in that green. You know, some of our viewers were saying that they've been having snow and stuff still, so there's...
Well, good for them.
We had a bad thunderstorm come through the neighborhood. There's several trees downed, or branches downed, stuff while we were gone. So we must have missed it.
And I got to mow the yard today.
You did, for the first time this year, right?
Yeah, but it's still only March. It's ridiculous.
When do you usually have to do
Well,
it?
it'd be nice to make it into April a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is better than snow and ice, for sure.
True. Okay, so that was Quinacridone and Cadmium Yellow Light here on my brush now. Let's put in some nice bright yellows. If you don't have Cadmium Yellow Light, that's fine. Just use your Cadmium Yellow Medium. The Cadmium Yellow Light's just like more of a lemon yellow. It's a little bit brighter, so. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit along this edge right here, just slightly. Pop that forward. Okay. And then this one, gonna Cadmium Yellow Medium. Use my finger there. Blend it out a little bit. And then there's a bright yellow that comes down there. Grab a little bit of white, help it a little bit more opaque. Yellow is definitely, even the cadmium yellows, they're still can have a hard time covering over darker colors. So if you'll add a little bit of white to them, if you notice that their colors are showing through underneath, you can add a little bit of white to them, and then you can always go back over the white with your color, your yellow or whatever it is you're using, and adjust the thing. But that'll change the value for you. It'll make it light and bright like you want it to be. So here, I'll do that here. With this one, I'll do white. Wipe that off, grab a little bit of Quinacridone Magenta, pull that back in this way. See how going over that white there, even right here, will make that quinacridone that much more vivid too. So any of those transparent colors, especially, it's a good trick. You can put the white down underneath them and then put the brighter color over the top, or your transparent color over the top. Here's a pink. I got some white on my brush here. Alright, these are looking good. I think I'm going to use a little bit of that pink actually over here, this one too. There we go. Alright, I think that this is the right color now, so I'm going to grab this green and put it over the top. Put in that stem right there. Grab a little bit of the lighter green, maybe some white. I'm going to use the edge of my brush. I've kind of just flattened it out. I'm using the tip here, and I'm just going to pull along that one side to highlight it a little bit at the top. Actually, it probably needs to be that lighter color, so it'll show up against that black. Okay, that's better. This should be dry there, so I'm going to grab that cadmium yellow medium. Pull that over the white and see how much brighter that yellow is now with that white underneath. Do it over here too. All right. Some little streaks there. And that one's pretty done. I think these both are done. There's some yellow streaks that go over the top of that dark area right there. Maybe a little bit in this one too. Okay, so those two I think are pretty well done. I might add just a little bit of bright white to them. This one is almost done. I think I need a little bit of pink. Let me grab a little bit of the quinacridone and white. There's some pink streaks in it on both sides here. Kind of create some veins in it. We'll do a little bit of that color on here too. Okay. Add a little bit of that color right here. That's the quinacridone and white. I'm going to go over the top of that yellow area that we're having problems blending. All right, then this one, well, these have been neglected completely. We'll have to get these going here. So we'll have some of this color in there. Definitely this one has a lot of this lighter color going on. Let's work on these. This is like the most well-behaved group of chatters, I swear. Nobody's asking any questions. They're all just, I don't know what you guys are talking about, though.
Oh, you got about 30 thumbs down.
Shoot. Dagnabbit.
No.
When that happens.
So we know at least your Patreon people aren't your haters.
That would be sad if the link, that would be hilarious. If our link, somebody paid just a thumbs down the video. Oh gosh.
I guess
Yeah,
you're not that dedicated.
No, they're not. Yeah, I have 2 dedicated haters that thumbs down all of my videos there.
I think you're
Even
up to
before
3
I
now.
go on air, they do.
Yeah.
Because it cracks me up. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what I ever did to you, but that's okay. You have the right to thumbs down it if you want.
Yeah.
If it had only happened once, I would have thought, it's just random, but it happens every time. So kind of think it's the same people's or person.
I think they're from the future too, because they already don't like your video.
Right. They
You
already
haven't
know they're going to
started.
hate it.
Yeah.
Before it's all just like, oh, it's her. It's going to be crap. We already know. That's all right. It's all right. You got to have a thick skin to do this job. That's for sure. Get a lot of art police out there thinking they know all of the rules that you're breaking. I'm very much a do whatever works kind of person. I don't care if it's exactly on the third or if if I like it, I'm going to do it. So I'll put something in the middle of the painting and I don't know, it's just, I feel like there's so many rules and restrictions on art. Let's just enjoy it, have fun, do what makes you happy, If you're, if you're trying to get into a gallery, maybe you need to think about all that stuff. But if you're just doing it to have something nice to put up in your house or learn a new hobby or, that's kind of who I'm teaching to most of the time anyways. So I don't need to hear about all the ways I'm not following the rules. It's like, I really don't care. I know the rules. I just don't always follow them. I don't feel like you have to. And I think that the best art doesn't, nobody liked Monet and, well, at his end of his career they finally got it. But when they were first, the Impressionists especially, when they first came on the scene, they were criticized for having unfinished paintings and nobody took them seriously. And they were innovators though, they were new and doing something fresh and different. And so don't anybody ever tell you what you can and can't paint. Do what makes you happy.
That's including yourself. Because sometimes you're the worst critic.
Oh, exactly.
Yourself.
Yes. That's very true and a good point. Yep. Yeah, and when you're learning, you just got to give yourself permission to, you got to give yourself permission to fail, or you'll never try anything new. And I never, when I learned piano I gave it up eventually because it was too hard for me. But, so that's maybe not a good example, but I'm just saying, I didn't start out doing, Mozart and doing it right the first time. I messed up and I struggled and I was able to,
It took you 2 or 3 days to get there.
Right.
But you got to Mozart level.
Exactly. Right.
If you wrote your first, what's that called? Symphony?
Symphony, yeah. I did my
you were
own.
like, okay, that's done. On to
Yeah.
something else.
Exactly. Move on. I know people make it seem like you don't, if you don't do it right the first time that you don't have talent for it. Well, that's not true. Everybody that paints had to learn to start out as a beginner and pick up the brush for the first time. Every single person. We've all just failed more than the rest of them. We've kept on trying longer than somebody else maybe. we've learned from our mistakes and figured out how to kind of work around them or avoid them or whatever. That's why I'm doing these videos, honestly. It's just kind of how people go, you know what, I've done that and it didn't work, so don't do it. Here, I'm telling you what to do. Even now I just said don't listen to what people tell you what to do, but
Don't talk with your mouth full, please.
sorry, I had my brush in my mouth. I'm just saying, you know, not style. I'm just talking technique. Try to get some techniques that help you out. Less frustration. Okay, so add a little bit of this. This is the cad yellow or cadmium red mixed with a little bit of quinacridone, and I still had a little bit of yellow on my brush, so mixed it in a little bit there. Grab the yellow, cadmium yellow light here, and I'll put some of that in right here. Okay. This is all right, and then this one too needs a little bit brighter right on here. Grab a little bit, just wipe that off. Grab a little bit of the cadmium yellow light. Try to get a little bit of that in there. All right. Brightening up that area right there. Maybe a little bit more over here, and I think we're good on all of these. I think they're all looking pretty good. Move over here. Need to get our yellows in on this one because they're gonna need a couple coats. So grab the cadmium yellow. We'll lay that down there. Tap it out a little bit. A little bit more there. I'm going to grab the red and blend over that. Just made it kind of an orange color. Don't want to go down too far because I don't want to get rid of all that shadow there, so if I get too close to it I can just tap it off with my finger. You'll see we've got this dark color, so we can kind of blend over it. It'll really make these colors pop. Grab some of the quinacridone and red mixture and pull a little bit of that in the middle. Here, blend up. A little bit of it over here. A little bit of it inside this one. Grab the Cadmium Red Light. Add some streaks of that really bright orangey color. Need to be careful because it's starting to dry, so I think I'm going to leave that. Grab some yellow, cadmium, yeah, I'll get the cadmium medium yellow. Pull around here. This has a bright spot right along this, and So leave this area here dark and do your light streaks down this way on the outside of the petal. That, and then there's a little bit of another petal right here that's peeking in. All right, and this goes down and around, it curves around right here. I have very little yellow on my brush here, so now I'm just kind of dry brushing some streaks. Okay, grab a little bit of that cadmium red, tap it back in right there. Put some of that color in here. It's the cadmium red and yellow mixture. Grab the yellow, a little bit of white. It's nice and bright right along this one. Not very talkative today, hun.
Not much to say. Oh, my microphone's turned way down low. That's better. No, somebody in chat was mentioning that this year's 150th anniversary for Canada.
Oh.
And they apparently bred a variant of a tulip.
Oh, that's right. I was supposed to be painting that one.
Yeah, why not?
Forgot.
Why aren't you?
I forgot. I get so many paintings sent or photos sent to me all the time. I just forgot. Yeah, I think she sent me that one.
Okay, we'll restart.
Well, you could adjust it, though, to those colors. I can't remember what color it was. It was really pretty, though.
They're saying that it's basically the same colors, but it's white instead of yellow.
Okay. Well, yeah. So just use white. That's, yeah. Okay. Perfect. I knew that. I did that on purpose. I was going to say that in a minute here. I was like, you didn't give me the chance.
Right.
You could just change it. So it's Canada's anniversary colors. Special. No, it's not their anniversary colors. It's a special tulip made for the anniversary, which is awesome. If you think we can do that, that's pretty.
Yeah, because the flag is red and white. The maple leaf. And
Nice. So I see that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so wherever I did the white here, I would probably, I don't know if it has any of the orangey reds in it. If it's I can't remember if it was the orangey red or if it was just the brighter reds, but you could use just red instead of the orangey red. And I would say I would still add a little bit of yellow, or use a yellow like the Quinacridone Magenta, or the Unbleached Titanium. Speaking of which, I'm going to grab a little bit of it, to create some of your highlights so that it doesn't turn your red to pink if you don't want it to be pink. So sorry about that, I forgot all about that. Using this quinacridone with the unbleached titanium here. And there's a little bit of yellow, I think, down here. I'm going to grab some of that yellow oxide. Pull a little bit of that down in here. And maybe a little tiny bit of it down here. And then this one's going to have a little bit of that color too, actually. So, kind of a light peach color. Grab a little bit of the white. Add some streaks. This one's very kind of almost impressionist. It's not got a lot of details. Grab some yellow, cad yellow medium here. Tap that in, pull. Try not to go over all my shadow areas. I kind of covered up some. I'm going to grab some of my red here and just add back in some of my details. Wipe that off, grab some cad yellow light, maybe a tiny bit of white. And we'll go over the top of those, pull them back, push them back a little bit so they're not so outlined. Okay, a little bit of white. Where are we at? Okay. Got white here now. And this is our last layer on the tulips. I haven't been counting, but I'm sure it's a lot. So we've spent an hour and a half on them. Okay, a little bit more white here. Gonna really highlight this bright section right there. Pop that forward. This last little bit of bright white will really help sell the dimensionality of the tulips. So just kind of pick your spots carefully where you want to put it. Okay, you want it on the brightest part of the tulip where it's poking out the closest to you. So this one gets some right here. A little bit on that section right there. A bit on the outside of that one. Tiny bit on this one right here. And then there, a little bit here. And all along this. There and there, and then a little bit on this, and then we're done. Okay. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of this bright white right here on this one. Grabbed a little bit of pink there to kind of tone that down right there. Okay, I think we're pretty good. Let me grab a little bit of pink over here too. This one's got some pink right in here. All right, we're done with the tulips. I'm going to switch to my number 4 round. We'll do the stems on the grab some white, some yellow oxide here, mixed with my green that we mixed before. I'm going to wipe most of that off and use it to highlight my stems that I've already put in. Grab a little bit of the brighter green and use that too in some of them. And then now I'm going to start on the jars, and I'm going to tap. I'll get closer here. Whoops. I'm going to tap wherever I start in the glass. So it's going to be very fuzzy. So the line can be clean up here. As soon as you hit that glass, you want to start fuzzing out the edges. So just kind of use the brush and kind of pull side to side with it so that it's a little bit less distinct and a little bit lighter touch on your brush too, so that it's a little bit lighter maybe. All right. Grab this green here and we'll add some white to it. So we've got like 4 different greens here that we can work with, kind of more yellow one and then the medium green, and this one's kind of a lighter version of this olive color. So we'll use, thank you. Use this on this one. And a little bit more of that brighter green. Add a little bit of that. Okay, and now that we're at the vase here, we're going to start doing some lines. There's like a green line that goes all the way across here. There's another one that goes across here. There's another section right here that's green. I hope that's visible. Hope it's not too shiny. I'm going to grab the more bright olive green color, add a few streaks of that.
Looks like there's some water on your palette.
Thank you. Okay, and then we're gonna use it down here and put in our stem using very light touch, leaving a lot of the black showing through in places. And get that darker green mixture. Well, like I want to mix the dark green and the lighter green together, get a kind of a medium green here, this color. These two colors together. Get kind of a... Okay, my palette's moving around on me. It's getting sticky. And this is almost dried. Okay, so that's kind of a mix between those two. Yeah, that's closer to what I want. Okay, a little bit of that. A little bit of the dark green. And we'll leave that for now. I think that's good enough. Do this one. So this one's going to get a little bit of the brighter yellowish green. A little bit of the medium green. It's got that dark color underneath, so it's going to have a little bit of a natural shadow there. I might grab a little bit of the dark and just add it just right there. Do the same on this one. This actually is kind of goes up into the bottom of the tulip there. Tapping, pulling, letting the catch the texture of the canvas pull the paint off, and it'll kind of leave little dark and light spots. Grab that dark green here too. Add a little bit of that. And then when we get to the water part right here, we're going to make a little bend right here. I'm not adding the lighter color. Just by kind of making it blurry like this, it'll give it that illusion of glass. It's really interesting how it works. But all right, there's some reflections on this section over here of this green from the vase. Oh, did not mean to do that. Over here, so there's some green in the water. This is kind of that darker green. Just do a little bit right now. I'm going to switch my brush to a different brush to do the reflections, but I'm going to put a little bit of the green in the vase while I got it on this brush. All right, let's get this one. This has got light color as it goes into the vase. It's a little bit brighter up here. If you make a mistake, you can kind of wipe it off with your damp cloth. And this is where I can use my little bit of glazing medium if I want to give it a little bit better flow. A little bit of the dark color and put the dark along that side. Now for the glass, we're going to move this part of the glass. The reflection kind of came straight down right here. It's kind of weird. And then it sort of broke and met over here. And then there was a bunch of reflections here in the green. And you don't even really see this one at all very much. It's very dark green back here. So you can kind of put a little bit of that in, but it sort of disappears into the blackness of the vase as it goes down. And there's some dark over here.
Somebody has asked if you can see the stems from the other flowers behind in the front vase, or do they, you know what I'm saying? So the vase that's behind you, the stems are going down, and you have the vase in front.
Yeah, you can't. If you look at the picture, there's some green, some random kind of green things that happen here. There's like a green line here, and then there's a little bit of greenness in this vase that kind of comes down like this. But you can't see the whole, this at all, really. This one obscures it. If you look at the photograph, it's not showing the stems at all back here. So that would be the tendency, but you know, to think that it should be like that. And I think that that's where, you know, if you're not using a really, really good reference and really paying close attention to what it's doing, you know, you may be tempted to do that, and it wouldn't necessarily be completely accurate.
Yeah, I think the double refraction of the light, you wouldn't see it very well. Don't laugh. I'm being serious.
No, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were being
silly.
silly.
Laughed at me.
I thought you were being silly.
Okay, so next time I'll say, this is a serious comment.
Okay, thanks.
The double refraction of the light through both vases, you probably would not see.
There you go. Science.
In fact, it would probably look upside down.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Hashtag science facts.
Got the brighter green here. And these ones. You're not seeing this whole section of them. Really, you're seeing a little bit of it right here. They're going down into the water right here, and then you're seeing them right this way. And this is two stems, but they're not splitting apart until they get down to here. And then they're kind of hiding behind this one and splitting apart, and you're seeing two different ones. Let me grab the Phthalo Blue, mix a little bit of that in with my green color, get a little bit brighter green there, and use that right here, a little bit in here, a little bit up here. A little bit more of the Phthalo Blue. Go nice and dark. There we go. That's what I wanted. Just a little bit of contrast there. So a little bit of the darker green to work with. Grab some of that lemon yellow or light yellowy green here. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out. Whoa, not that far. Just not one to go slow on me. Alright, let me zoom in just a little bit farther in. Wrong way. There. There we go. Okay. Alright, so this, I can see here that these need to be a little bit brighter, the stems here, but I'm going to switch to my brush that I'm using for the rest of the painting. This is the 1/4 inch flat bright. And I'm going to use some water here. Go over my watercolor pencil lines just a little bit. Erase those off. Make sure you don't press too hard on your wet paint. If it's wet, make sure it's dry first before you do this part, but I want to do it. Especially on my stems there, just make sure that they're put in correctly. It's hard to tell when you've got that white line kind of around it. Okay, I think that's good. Let me erase all that. Okay, there we go. Now we can see what we've got. Okay, so definitely want to brighten up the stem on this side. So I'm going to grab some of that green that we mixed. Maybe grab a little bit of white and a little tiny bit of the yellow light. And I'm just going to use it to pull in. I need to stop before the water line there. Okay. Yeah, brighten that up too right there. Make sure your edges stay fuzzy. I'm going to grab that kind of tealish color that we mixed before. Add some white to it. Use it in here. I don't know. I picked up the brighter green there somehow. Okay, so now I'm going to start with the glazing medium. Grab the glazing medium, grab a little bit of this green. This is that teal green with a little bit of white, extra white added. This is my Zinc White, so I can use it too to tint it, and I'm going to use it in the water right here, and I'm going to outline, use the edge of the brush to kind of outline my little section right here, just using some short kind of choppy brush strokes so that I don't have really solid lines happening. Just go from the outside edge and pull in a little bit. And tap along that top edge of the vase. Do the same thing on this side. I'm going to grab a little bit of the black and mix it with the Zinc White and glazing medium, make it gray. I'm going to wipe most of it off. And I'm going to outline my vase with this. And really it's not a solid line, so you can kind of fudge it a little bit. But I'm just trying to kind of clean up that, all that go over the top of the pencil lines so that they disappear. So just kind of wipe all those off with this. And really I don't have a whole lot of paint on my brush at this point. Pretty much just using the dry brush. It's slightly damp and it's just blending out those colors and softening them up, the pencil lines. All right, grab a little bit of the yellow, or zinc white here, and I need to find a clean spot. I don't have a clean spot over here. Let me try it over here. Grab a little bit of Phthalo Blue, mix those together. Wipe most of that off. Okay, so let's start putting in some of the blue highlights. I'm going to, about right down here, there's a little section where it starts having these straight, solid, streaky things. Whoops, go straight down. Straight down. Using that zinc white, it will help it be transparent, so it'll have that lip of glass. I'm going to use a little bit of this blue up here and sort of solidify a little bit of our twist part of the vase. I feel like I'm too far away. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit without going off. Okay, here we go. Would it help if I turn it a little bit? Maybe hold it up a little bit. What do you think, honey? Does it look better? If I hold it versus flat.
I can't really see it from this angle.
Oh, I was just looking at the camera. I'm saying on the camera.
Yeah, again, I can't see it from this angle.
Okay. On your screen.
Well, I'm about 40 seconds behind you, so.
Well, when you catch up, let me know.
Okay.
All right. Adding some little white.
Either way, it looks fine to me.
Okay. This is the, get a little bit more of the white, zinc white. Still have that blue in my brush, so it's still got a little bit of a blue tint. Let's darken it up. And then we're going to grab the brighter white. Mix that in. I'm keeping my brush flat so that I can get some straight lines with it. So I have it very thin. And I'm going to use the edge here and pull in some lines. Just tap in some lines for my ball jar or whatever this, the
kind of like a canning jar.
Kind of. Well, it's probably like a juice jar, you know, or like a, I don't know, pickle jar.
Pickle jar.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so brighter white here.
Are you using the glazing medium?
No. Oh, this is just straight white.
Everybody's anxious. They're on the edge of their seats.
The glazing medium. Well, I've been using it. I had been using it.
Oh, okay.
I was using it before, just a minute ago.
Okay. We must have fell asleep.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was using it with the black when I was doing the gray color, and when I was doing this green, I need a little bit. I'm seeing where I missed a little bit of this green, so I'm going to grab a green with the glazing medium. And there's a little bit of green right up in here. It's so weird how this happens, but it's like it picks up the green here and it pulls it and makes it straight down, so I don't know. There's some green right here. And then there's some in the water right here. Grab a little bit more of that green. Some glazing medium. Just tapping. A little bit of that. There's a very strong line coming around that edge there. If you want to, you could switch to a round brush for some of these little details if you have a hard time getting around these corners with this, because you kind of have to pull it around. Okay, oh shoot, I am off camera. Yeah, well, it's right at the edge. Okay, there, then grab that gray color. Do some gray in here. Grab a little bit of the blue with the glazing medium. Put a little bit of blue there. A little bit of something happening here that's very, very light. Pulled this way. And these are okay, now, here's where it gets interesting. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to grab black. Maybe add just a teeny tiny bit of glazing medium, but not a lot, because I want it to stay pretty solid. And we're going to go back in and go over the top of our lines up here. And this will push those branches back, the stems back. It'll add some really dark little sections here. And we left a little bit of the black showing with this, but anywhere where it got a little bit too light, we need to have some of these black shadows underneath these, especially underneath the sections where the jar screws are. So putting those in over the top of everything now is going to add this kind of element of realism. And if you look at the picture, that's definitely, there's definitely these areas of very dark black happening. Right, so there's this shadow right here. And then right along this water line right here, there's another. I'm going to grab some of the Zinc White too. Do the Zinc White over the top edge. Actually, grab the bright white titanium. We'll use that right here. So I tapped a little bit of black, then I grabbed a little bit of the Zinc White and then a little bit of the titanium white. More titanium. You have the, when you want these really bright highlights, you grab the titanium. If you want it to be subtle, you use the zinc. So you want a little bit of both of all of it. That might be a little too high. See, right here on this one, there's a little bit of dark, right where this goes down into the water, right there. And a little bit again over here. Okay. Grab the blue with the zinc white mixture. And there's a little bit of blue up in here. Where did I see it out? Up in here. Grab a little bit more of that. Yeah, right here. And right here. A little bit of blue in the water. So it's not quite that bright right there. Okay, so that's that one, I think. Might put a little bit of, there's a little bit more green right here I'm seeing. Yeah, right along here there's this green reflected right there. Mixed with that green a little bit right here and just kind of softening up that whole section right there. Oops, I think I just got paint in my brow here. Okay, that's all right. Actually, you can see this green goes down here. Okay, let's do this next one. And there's a little bit of yellow too I missed. On here there's some yellow oxide. A little bit. Use a glazing medium with it. Right through here. Some of this is more olivey yellow. Let's do this one. So this one's going to have white right along here. You're going to have a really bright section of white right here. And a little bit on this side too. This is titanium white. We'll just go ahead and set in some of our titanium white areas while we've got that green stem comes down like this right here. Didn't bring it down far enough. Okay. We still hanging in there?
Sure.
Is everybody left? Everybody just
No.
good. Okay.
No, we're all here.
We're all here still? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. You're getting your money's worth today, so. This is the gray color that we mixed. We're going to use that to go around our vase here, soften up the edge. Dry brush out any. Whoop. I'm off camera. There we go. There's a kind of a curved line right here. There's a line that comes down right here. There's some straight sections there, and there's a little bit of this gray up in here. There's some of the gray along here. I'm just going to use up what's on my brush here. Do all my outlines with this color, but I don't have any paint in my brush left almost. Grab a little bit of water. Okay. Grab the Zinc White. We'll add some highlights with the Zinc White. This is still Zinc White here. It's just a little bit thicker. Go ahead and use it on here while we got it. this section here is very dark, so I'm going to grab some black and some glazing medium and just kind of go back over that section. Maybe a little bit more black. You want it just slightly darker, and I'm going to use this black to go over the top of the stems. Make sure each one of these okay, there's some of this gray. Mix the little bit of the yellow, little white with the zinc white, glazing medium black. And we'll do a little bit on this one. This whole section here has got all these grays, greens. I'm going to grab a little bit of the green if I can get some that's still wet. It's got a little bit of black in it still, so it's kind of like that. Grab a little bit of burnt sienna maybe. Glazing medium. We'll use that all in here. This whole section has all of these interesting lines. I'm just using short choppy brush strokes. I grab a little bit more of my yellow oxide mixture. Yellow oxide with the blending medium, glazing medium. Use a little bit of it in here. You're seeing a little bit of the stems reflected over here, I think. It's kind of this brownish color. Glass has got so many weird little things. You almost can't mess this up. Just, make sure that you're just kind of keeping it transparent. That's the main thing. You want to keep it kind of soft and fuzzy. We'll add a lot more over here. Add a little bit of this color over here. Maybe put a little bit of this color over here. And there's a lot of it right here. It's a whole section right here that's got this brownish color. There's a bunch of it in this. This is this brown-green color. So the glass is picking up all these colors from all around it. And in the room, too, that we're not seeing even. So, just trying to matter of picking out what you're seeing in the photo. What colors and shapes. Okay, let's grab some, clean my brush out. put in some blue. And maybe a teeny tiny bit of the burnt sienna just to gray it out a little bit. You're sighing over there, honey. I know this is a long one. Sorry.
No, I'm just breathing.
Okay. Okay, wipe off most of that extra. We'll use this color now. This will kind of tie it all together because it's in that green. It's in the green of the, even though we haven't used blue anywhere solid like this, but it's in all these other things that we've mixed, so it'll really brighten up the painting a lot. Mix a little bit of the gray in with it too and use it over here. Here, I'm going to pull a streak down here. It kind of comes inside here and meets up with this one there. Pull a little bit of that white, zinc white that is. A little bit of this blue up here. All right, now we're going to add a little burnt sienna with, let's grab some red cadmium red light. So it's kind of a brownish, it's a dulled down version of the painting color. Grab the glazing liquid, mix that with it. We'll put just touches of this color in. Just brighten up, indicate a little bit of the orange in our water. And grab some of the zinc white here and mix that with it. Get a little bit brighter. Okay, I'm going to grab the black now. I'm going to feel like this got kind of too gray in places. So I'm going to go back in and really brighten, sharpen up that black. Do it again right here. Need some black right here. And underneath right here. A little bit on this vase. The black kind of comes in on that stem a little bit right there. And I covered up a little bit of it down here, so I'm going to grab some black and put it back in right here and this edge right here and here. Now that water is going to really pop out at us. Grab some of the titanium white now. Mix that. Use a bit of that on this edge here. Okay, now I clean my brush out really well. Put in our really, really bright highlights. We've got these kind of medium highlights going on. Okay, I'm going to do Zinc White first, and then I'll do the white, the titanium white. And then we'll be done. Okay, so actually this is that. I'm going to grab some of this yellow, cad yellow light and Phthalo Blue. Make it that bright green with some titanium white. And this is really bright right here and it's green. A little bit of this green showing right down there. Put a little bit of the green over here. Well, we already had some over there. Let's make sure we have some down here. A little bit right here. Clean my brush out. Titanium white. I'm going to grab a little bit more of that green there. make a really bright version of it. Get along there. See how this is just going to pop that out so much, having these really vivid highlights. This last little bit makes all the difference. Okay, straight titanium white. We can use it very selectively. We need a nice bright highlight right here. Break it up, leave a little space with the black right there. There's a square right there. This. I already got that pretty well, so I don't know if I need to do that again. I'm just going to put some what you laughing at, hon?
Oh, just when people are texting or typing in their comments, they're just as good as I am sometimes.
Oh, with the words?
Yep.
Yeah, spelling. Oh, need to watch that Pregnant video. I laughed so hard. I was crying.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of the channel, but oh my gosh, there's a guy that finds was it Yahoo questions?
Something like that, yeah.
And posts. Just that's all he's doing is reading the posts, and oh my gosh, they're so hilarious. The spelling is atrocious.
The number of different ways people try to spell pregnant.
Pregnant. I don't know why it was so funny. I mean, I guess it's I don't know. It's just, it was hilarious. Okay, let's do a little bit right here. Really bright right there. Really bright right there. This is that last little bit of extra highlight that'll really sell it. Now I'm kind of dry brushing here.
Okay, somebody's asked a art question.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of caught off guard here.
Awesome.
They're asking if the background was a different color, like dark blue, would the gray be different?
Yeah, you would definitely see some blues in it for sure. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely would, because the glass is basically just picking up the atmosphere around it and reflecting it back to you. So whatever room color or background, color you're up against, you'd see a lot of that in the inside of the glass. That's why so much of this is blue, is black. All of these areas that are black in here would probably be whatever color you've got in your background. Speaking of which, I'm going to grab some black and some white here and kind of tone down some of these. Add yeah, on this one I need a little bit over here. I'm going to grab the yellow oxide and white, a little bit of glazing medium, and put in a reflection right there. A little bit right there. Just put some of that in the water. I'm just kind of playing here, just trying to kind of work out if there's any other little colors and things that I need to add to help sell it. And then when I say sell it, I just mean make it look more realistic, not put it on the market.
You sound like a photographer. Work it.
Work it.
Work it. Sell it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Blue steel. I'm giving the blue steel of Vases here.
Mm-hmm. The jars are going through blue steel right now, stage. Black. Yeah, it's that black right there. And I mean, on yours, you're just going to have to kind of play with it at some point. You know, you just have to stop and call it good. I'm just still seeing little areas that I want to mess with here that were. Got black here. Okay, I think we're about ready. What do you think, honey? Good?
It's time for Stickman
Oh, yeah.
3.0. Or actually Stickwoman.
And I signed it on my thing with my Malto pen. So it made it really easy. They're very pigmented. Paint pen, permanent. It's basically acrylic paint in here, so in a pen form. And you could even use it, I guess, if you wanted to kind of touch up highlights sections, but I don't think I will do that. I just saw a part that I want to mess with real quick. Sorry, honey.
Man, it's like a dog thinking he's going to go for a ride. Like, yes. Oh.
Sorry.
No, I'm not going to go for a ride.
You will, just not right this second.
Okay.
Okay, right there. I just need to brighten that up right there.
Somebody wants to know, is all the chalk rubbed off?
Yes, it is. That's gone now. I just need a bright one right here. I just feel like it was a little bit dull. And I don't know what really happens in here, so I'm just kind of messing it up because my picture has like a thing. So I'm just kind of making up what I think might happen back there. Oops, sorry. I just touched my mic. Sorry, Ann. Okay, I think maybe I'm done. Stickman, what did he get today? Oh, I need to find the right stick woman. I'll have her hold a tulip. How's that? So please, there she is. She's got her little flower. So cute. Are you happy now?
Myself and everybody else in chat.
Okay.
I'm very happy.
Good, good. All right. Thanks, guys. I know this was a long one, but I appreciate you sticking it out with us today and watching, and I hope you do try it. And it was a long one, but it was definitely worth it. I think it's really beautiful painting. And we will see you next time.